So the first question is, what have you learned through this experience working through the PBL?
I enjoyed how Felson and Jason said it didn't really feel as much work. It felt as in like we enjoyed it and how what we got to feel and what we wanted to work on, and like it was just kind of fun. It wasn't like how the teachers said like telling us to do what they want to do. They want us to do what we know and what we feel, and just have fun with it and not just like be disciplined or be like too strict about it. They just wanted us to have fun with it and like see what we can do to persuade the teachers.
I liked how, like Jacob said, the teachers didn't feed us answers, like where they had to ask the questions, and then we got to answer for a chance instead of like them telling us, "Oh, you guys are gonna do that," and then hand me the papers or something.
Okay. You said you had a lot of choices. What kind of choices did you have?
We got to choose our groups, what our project was, if we wanted to do it on paper, computer.
Okay.
Like that.
So different choices throughout the process and what your topic was, how you did the research, what you used to present, all of those things.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you another question then. What did you learn through this process?
I think we learned a lot. We learned that not everyone's going to have the same ideas. They're all going to be unique, while we're also learning how to persuade the teachers into getting what we want.
I think we learned that how what powers we have, like what we can do. Like Heather and I worked together, and like I was the one doing editing, and she was the one that was doing research, and she's the one that found like most of the good research, and I didn't know how to like research like where to go, but she knew, and like I knew how to edit. So I mean, like when you combine those together with a collab, I mean, it makes a good like how do I say, makes a good team,
Mm-hmm.
and like make the presentation look cooler and fun.
Okay. So you had a lot of freedom and some choices. Do you think you still learned the content, the specific persuasive content that the teachers wanted you to learn
Yes.
through this?
Yeah.
I mean, me and my partners used multiple like persuasive techniques. We tried to use humor. I don't think that worked though.
Okay.
We tried to use bandwagon, then plain folks, and I think the other two were successful.
Okay.
I think we really got attached to this project because like Jason said earlier, we didn't think it was accomplished. Even now, even though it's done, I still don't think what I was thinking about was accomplished.
So you would be interested in continuing your work if
Yeah.
you had the time and opportunity. Okay.
We learned different types of persuasion. It's just not like we could also use videos. We learned that you could also base things on pictures we get attached to, and sometimes you gotta like use other people for ideas, not just yours.
Yeah. I know I've heard that some students actually went out and researched what other schools are doing or, different things that are going on in the community. So, excellent.
I feel like we actually learned more like this because when you're given a packet and just told to do it, then you don't really do much of it. You just kind of sit there and try to think of it. You're trying to memorize it, but you actually can't. While in this, you can actually comprehend the data that you're getting.
Yeah, it's like doing the bare minimum. Because sometimes that's what I do on my packets. Like, I really just don't want to do a boring packet, so I'll read it and write the smallest answer.
Okay.
I think the reason why I was hooked to it was because like there was a prize at the end pretty much too, as in like it was like I don't like losing, so like I really wanted to like go to like where you guys are to like take it to the teachers, and like I just wanted to like take it to the teachers and like prove that I can like bring cell phones at lunch and bring the IC team.
So you want to see a change.
Yeah.
You want your work to actually impact something, and you want to see a change.
Yeah, because I didn't want to do work for no reason.
I like the ending, like where we got to watch all the presentations, because it showed how we were all creative in our own ways. How Jacob added music. I don't know who did that, but somehow managed to add music and like little messages under the video of Mr. Revacombe. Yeah.
So you got a chance to learn skills, not just English skills, but all kinds of technical skills and different things through this as well. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And it made me think about like how well they tried, and usually I don't really see that in other students. I'd be like, because if we do the original thing like Miss Quaker said, like we'd have to do this little writing thing, like they wouldn't have tried, and then we would have ended up with like these boring answers, and then after like the presentation was done, I noticed how like everybody actually tried. Everybody was proud of themselves. Almost everybody, because they actually tried. They liked what they did.
One of the things that surprised me was the students really took to the idea first because they knew it was legitimate, and that had a very high motivation factor. They knew their ideas would be taken seriously. They would be considered by the administration, and so that, I feel, elevated their level of engagement, their level of involvement, and their willingness to really put forth their individual best self, because there was a competitive edge to it, which they really enjoyed.
What do you think the students learned through this experience?
A number of things: working independently and finding their way through a series of questions. That is the foremost thing that comes to my mind. Every project was individually selected by a group of 3 or 2, or students could choose to work individually. So they had the freedom to choose their best working style, collaborate or not, and they could pursue their question on a number of different levels. So that really drove the research piece. What they wanted to learn and find out about their particular topic drove the kinds of things that would take them to the next step. And then as teachers, we could step in and guide those questions and direct them to the next piece.
Additionally, I would say there's that whole social component, what it's like to work with another person. In my team taught classes, we did have students working individually, but in my self-contained classes, it was important for me that my students work with another person, so I had everybody partner up. And I reserved the right to change partnerships if they didn't work out, but I knew a large part of this project, in order to produce a quality product, would need 2 students. The old adage, 2 heads are better than 1 type of thing, and I wanted students to experience that, and it came with its own challenges. Working in a group is not always easy, but it was a lesson that was just as important to learn, I feel like.
So you, English 8, did this project through all levels of classes, AAP, self-contained, all the way through?
Correct.
Okay. And you think that students at all levels experienced success, and you were pleased with what you saw?
I would say the level of engagement was by far higher than traditional projects, the traditional approach to writing a paper or research or anything along those lines. Students that might have been sitting on the sidelines, not doing the work, not coming with the homework, were fully engaged in this project, and that was across the board.
I would definitely say that engagement, regardless of the level, I saw AAP presentations, I saw my self-contained presentations. Engagement was consistent through all of it. The product was a little bit different. I definitely had to scaffold more when it came to my self-contained classes. In our team taught classes, and then in other classes that I observed, students had the option of how they presented their information. It could be a video, it could be a Google Slides, it could be a Prezi. In my self-contained classes, though, I told them, you will do a slide, and this is the information that each slide will contain. But at the end of the day, their presentations were just as good as the presentations that I saw in our classes, even though they are technically a lower level learner.
Were you excited about what you've seen and what you've experienced, and what might you share with other teachers about the process?
I think the the whole idea of students having a legitimate voice was very important to them, and feeling like they were heard, and that the PBL is designed to have a real life audience, a real life component. So that just adds a whole nother piece of weight and legitimacy to the work you're doing.
And I'd say because we did this over the course of a month, it was a very manageable project. Like I said, we kind of came in and the content was familiar, but we were able to get them to think at that higher level as the project moved on without them even realizing it. As Jan said, we were the facilitator, so we could guide each group and kind of help take them to the next level instead of just feeding them information and saying, this is what you're gonna do, this is how you think this way. They came to their own conclusions, and as they did that, it was really empowering. And I saw a lot of energy and a lot of excitement from these kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy we had the opportunity to work on this as a CT. I think we also experienced a lot of growth in our CT, and collaboration was at a high level. And I think as we tweak it and move forward and work out the nuts and bolts, it'll continue to grow and improve in future years as we roll this out.